Hello, I'm Blair Mowat. I'm a composer for film and television and also a lifelong fan of Doctor Who. I think I would want to travel with the 7th Doctor, Sylvester McCoy, because he was my Doctor when I was growing up. And also if I travelled with him, I might get to meet Ace as well, who obviously is one of the coolest companions, and maybe beat up some Daleks with a baseball bat, which I think would be a great stress reliever, yeah. I think in terms of companions, I would relate to Jamie the most because he is a fellow Scotsman, and I think if I travelled in the TARDIS with the Doctor, I would wear a kilt because it's a very good icebreaker when you land on an alien planet. You can sort of talk about the kilt a bit before you start talking about the end of the world. I think I'm probably most scared of the Cybermen, and in particular the Mondasian Cybermen. Of course, I'm hoping to see return soon. Tomb of the Cybermen was a big, scary one for me when I was growing up, but also Earthshock, which I think was one of my earliest Cybermen stories that I watched on VHS. And there's this piece of music that goes with the stomping of the Cybermen in that, which is almost like a sort of march type thing. And whenever I heard that music as a child, it used to absolutely terrify me. So yeah, the Cybermen have always been the one that's really got me since I was young. Okay, the first Doctor Who story I remember watching was the Robots of Death, the Tom Baker story, which I watched when I was about 4 years old on VHS. It was a Christmas present, and that one was absolutely terrifying. And I was always astounded that the BBFC gave it a U certificate because there's like strangulation in it and blood and all sorts of things. And I was banned from watching Doctor Who for about a year because I was so terrified by it, which of course then made me want to watch more and more Doctor Who, but I think I was just a bit too young for that one. So that was my first story, and I still love it today. It's a great episode. On a rainy day, I think from the classic era, like maybe a City of Death would be a good one to watch on a rainy day. But I'm going to go for one from the modern Who era, and I'm going to say The Lodger, because I think The Lodger is a really funny episode. It's the one that makes me laugh the most. So I think on a rainy day, that's what I'd watch to cheer me up. I think if I had a TARDIS, I'd stay in our time zone, but I'd go to the edge of the universe. It really frustrates me that there's so much of the universe out there that we'll never probably be able to see, no matter how much technology advances. So I'd probably go to the edge of the universe and go and see a really strange bunch of planets right as far away from Earth as possible. So recently I've started rewatching Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I've been astounded at how good it is. I just think it's absolutely brilliant. So I loved that when I was growing up. I also really liked Alias, one of the early J.J. Abrams TV series. Just such a brilliant show. And I also, Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, which Peter Harness adapted for television last year. I thought it was brilliant, and not that many people saw it, unfortunately. So if you're a fan of Doctor Who, go and check that out, because I thought it was absolutely brilliant.